Okay, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hello, Teresa.
Hello, happy Wednesday to you.
Oh my God, I was off last week and it was so hard to get back into work after having such a fabulous staycation. Went on a couple of day trips, but it was just so nice to be away from my computer a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome because I have been working straight the last 3 weeks. And you know me, I'm very clear with my evenings and weekends. I'm off. Like I rarely do that kind of stuff because I think it's important to really give time to the life that I want to create. And spending time with family and things like that is exactly it. But I have been working the last 3 weeks, so it was getting harder to want to work.
You know
So
what? But I'm so glad you're talking about this because I think that when business owners, entrepreneurs, designers, coaches, consultants, everybody that I coach hear that when I tell them set your boundaries, don't work weekends, don't work nights, the reality is there are times we all do that, but you want to make the majority of the time where you're structured.
yeah.
But there are some times, like you've
Mhm.
had over the last 3 weeks, where you kind of have no choice.
And that's just it. That's why I'm protective of my boundaries, because when it's important, when it's a big issue, and in this particular case, I've had the most bizarre, weird technical issues pop up in the last 3 weeks, and three clients really stuck and struggling, and not they have no idea how to resolve that. I mean, if I am lost and a little bit confused in getting things resolved, and I've worked in technology for over 25 years, the average entrepreneur is really going to be lost. So
Right.
that's why I worked those weekends, because I don't want to do it, but because I really appreciate the role that I fulfill for my
Well,
clients.
yeah, and I think that's what's so important. And the topic today is if your website is not giving you freedom, it's time to fix that because having a web designer like you, I mean,
Mhm.
in my very basic way, and then I'll let you take over what you wrote in your blog post, but in my basic way, I don't worry about my website because I have you. And it's one less thing that I
Mhm.
have to worry about, which gives me freedom, which I think is what you're
Yeah.
meaning by all this, correct?
Well, and that's exactly what it is, because of the crazy couple weeks. And I want to share this openly too, because a lot of times people look at us on these videos and they think, oh, they never have a bad day.
Oh my
They
God.
never want to quit. They never have doubts. They never think they should go back to the whatever. And last Friday, that's exactly where I was, because I was exhausted and I was so tired and I was exhausted. And it was a friend client we all know, Kim, who pops on your marketing Mondays. Her and I were sitting down and we were talking, and she said, I cannot tell you how grateful I am because you have given me so much freedom by taking care of my website. I never worry. She said the same thing. I never worry about my website because I know you're taking care of it. And it was like in that moment, I was like, okay.
You know what? That's a perfect example of when I tell people when you're feeling drained and maybe imposter syndrome, I'm not really good at what I do and no one's happy right now. And then you find that one client, friend, client combo who tells you what you actually do for them. And it gives you that strength to go back and go, you know what? This is why I do what I do.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I encourage people to go ahead and collect those testimonials and to display them on their website. My testimonials are more for me than anything
So
else
true.
to get me through those rough days. And so, but
It's so
from
true.
that conversation, I want to say, she really helped me realize that I do offer a lot of freedom. And that's kind of what this blog post is about. And full on confession, I wrote it an hour ago. So there's
Oh my
typos.
God. I
Forgive
can't write
me.
anything in an hour. That's incredible that you just did that. So tell me what it says because I didn't read it yet. So when you talk about is your website giving them freedom, what do you mean?
So the first thing, there's three areas that I want to touch on, and it's the design phase, the pre-launch phase, and then post-launch, because those are areas where having a good web designer in your pocket, whether it's me or somebody else, it doesn't matter, but having somebody take care of you is really powerful. So the design phase itself it's more than just tossing up some images and words on a page. There's a strategy to websites, and there's a strategy that should be personalized to you. So with my clients, I want to make their website one of the hardest working members of their team. I don't want it to just display a little bit of information and some links. I want it to almost, like one client of mine says, it's her administrative assistant. She's a
Nice.
solo entrepreneur, but her website takes care of her. It takes care of the contact and the scheduling and the follow-ups and the auto responses and all of those things. And that's something that we do in the design phase that is like, hey, because once your website launches, it should be working for you, not just a bookmark out there on the cyber world.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people think that their website is just a bookmark or a like business card, but it really can do so much more. And people have heard the term funnel, where
Mhm.
you're bringing people into your world, and then where do you want to direct that traffic? The website done properly will direct them to where you want them to go.
We'll do it, exactly. It'll make it easy for them to click one time and get in touch with you, not click, click, click to find to the form, and then it'd be a generic form that then you're like, did they receive it? Did they not receive it? I don't know what's going on. I mean, there's all of those pieces, the autoresponders, the where to place that contact me button, all of those things are going to free you up. So when the website launches, people are clicking the right places. They're scheduling quickly and easily without playing email tag with you back and forth.
Oh my God, I hate email tag. And I have to tell you, I mean, almost every, maybe 3 times a week at least, we're getting messages through our website that people know how to get in touch with us. And
Yeah.
they're getting into my business building boutique where all my free trainings are. And they're getting to my group program, which is starting in August, because you've set it up where if someone comes, they can easily find what they're looking
What
for,
they're looking
or
for.
it can direct them to what their issues may be and where they can find help. So it's beautiful when it's working. And
When
it's
it's working, and that's the key is working with a good web designer, it's not a one size fits all. There's never a one size fits all website package. You need to have strategy in place so that it's built to work around you. And so
right,
that's
because a
one of the
cookie
ways.
cutter website is going to bore people also.
It's gonna bore people, and it's not gonna really represent you. I've watched people or I've talked with people who have gotten a template in this cookie cutter website that have created a new service because there was a hole for one in the website. They don't really wanna offer the service. They don't want anything to do with the service, but they had a space in that cookie cutter website that said, "You need a service here."
Oh
Yeah,
my God. Yeah, not thinking through what's right for them, just fitting themselves into a template.
plugging holes,
No,
basically.
yeah,
Right.
not good. Not good.
Not good
Okay.
at all. And so that in that design phase, and that's a real generalization of it. There's so much more to it. But in the phase, that's one of the ways that a really good web designer gives you freedom so that you're not sitting here trying to figure out that strategy. They're saying, Nancy, how do you do business? What's the
Right.
first thing people want to do, what you want people to do to contact you? How do you want them to get started? And then they put the pieces together for you, and you don't have to worry about it.
And let me just add, because when you say that, that could scare some people because their answer to that is, I don't know. I don't know what I want them to
I'm
do.
good at talking through, I don't know.
That's what I want everyone to know who's listening, that if they're not sure, well, I don't know what I want people to know do first on my website. That's where you come in talking it through and strategizing with them. It's not like they have to come to you with all the answers.
No, I'm going to help them come up with those answers and help them find the way that's worked. And it's interesting because I have a series of questionnaires and then I always have a conversation with those questionnaires. And it's oftentimes what they say in the questionnaires, what they think the world is looking for them, but what I hear in conversation, that's not going to work. And I
Yes,
know we need to do something differently.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So then we get to that pre-launch phase. So now we're ready to launch the website. It's designed, it's tested, we've done everything. We're happy, we love it. We're ready to launch. But a lot of times the technology, because people are always in a hurry. I'm going to launch a business, so let me go buy a domain and get hosting. And they go to what a buddy recommended or some rando on Facebook recommended or whatever has good marketing and is most familiar, and it's not always the best foundation for their website. And so then we are stuck with some mediocre tech that is going to cause issues. And that was kind of one of the problems that I had this past week is a client on a hosting company that was highly recommended that is not a great place to be. And his website was not functioning for nearly a week.
Oh,
So he didn't have to deal with that. I dealt with that. I worked with the hosting company. I took care of all of those things. We'll talk about that in a minute. But during that pre-launch, I want to make sure that you're in the best situation possible, that you're not going to have a registrar who is always kind of trying to sell you more junk and garbage
Oh
that
my
you
God, that happened to me years ago. You helped me with that. They kept trying to GoDaddy. Sorry, was I not supposed to mention them?
go for it. GoDaddy is
They
not
were
my
trying to sell me all kinds of emails and this and security. And it really convinced me like, I need this, otherwise I'm going to be exposed and in danger.
they're good at that. They're good at that. Not only do they sell you like domain privacy, but they sell you extra domain privacy, which is not even necessary. It's not necessary. Whereas if you go to Google, you spend a fraction of the cost, register your domain, domain privacy is free, and they don't try to sell you anything. So, I mean, those are the kind of things that we're going to get you in the best foundation so that you don't have DNS issues caused by a mediocre company that doesn't know what they're doing and your website's down for 5 days, so
Right.
that you don't have to deal with these kind of issues and that you don't have to deal with them. Like, we're going to take care of it. We're going to get you into that good foundation where you probably really won't have hardly any issues at
And
all.
if you do, it's in a place where you know that you'll get an answer if you pick up the phone or go through their tech
Right.
support, that the companies you're recommending or you're setting somebody up
Right.
with their foundation, are responsive companies.
Absolutely. And the company I recommend for my WordPress sites, I've only had one true outage that was not a maintenance outage in the middle of the night. So they have to do their own maintenance, their own security updates and things. So sometimes in the middle of the night, your website may be down for 10 minutes or so. It's
Oh,
the middle of the night. Nobody's going to care. I've
right.
only experienced in the 5 years I've been with them, I've only had one situation where a website went down, and that was because of a brute force attack on one of their servers. And so they shut the server down and then to protect everybody,
Mm,
and then we're back up within an hour. So I mean, like, that's the kind of stuff that I expect.
right.
Once in 5 years, there was a legit outage on a client.
Right. Okay. All
Yep.
right. So good foundation
Good
is number
foundation.
two. Okay.
Absolutely.
Number three.
Number 3 is that post-launch freedom. And a lot of times people launch their website and then they disappear and they don't look back. And then 3 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later, even they're like, this website really doesn't represent my business. I'm really embarrassed to send people to my website. And they're paying for something that is not supporting them and even could be potentially hurting their business.
I just think your program of touching base with your clients every month, the ones who are in your maintenance plan, is genius because you meet with me every month. I
Mhm.
say some months there's no updates on my website. I'm happy with everything. And other dates I'll go, can we change this? My new group is starting in August. Can we put a banner? The fact that you don't let someone forget about their website because you're touching base just subtly every month, just
Mhm.
in case we need you
Yeah.
and we didn't remember we needed you and we forgot, like you're there. It is a huge game changer that I know I can get a certain amount of maintenance every month done,
Yeah.
just little tweaks because you're always available to
And
your clients.
And that's just it, is your website needs that tender loving care. It needs the security updates, which we've talked about countless times. It needs that monitoring to see if things are crashing and going down like I do. It needs somebody touching it every week, which I do, regardless of the website, if it's WordPress or Squarespace. I'm always out on my websites. But it also needs that loving care. As your business grows and changes, your website needs to grow and change with you so
Yeah.
that you're not looking at spending 5+ grand on a brand new website in a couple years, because I think that's kind of the low end for a lot of places is that
Absolutely.
some are lower, but whatever. You're not looking at spending a couple $1,000s in 3 years for a whole new website. You have a website that is growing with you the whole time. And when you outgrow it, the tools that I utilize actually allows a refresh to be done very quickly, sometimes as quickly as a few hours.
It's amazing though, because I think about I need to put up a new picture, right? Or for designers, they have new job, they want to get pictures up there, a new blog be put up there. They got on a podcast they want on their website. They were published in something and they want that put up. Like these are things that you shouldn't be waiting 3 years to 5 years to refresh your website and add all this stuff. With the
Right.
program that you offer, you'll do that on the monthly
On
basis. And
as
it's
needed.
so much better. It keeps it up to date all the time.
Well, and that's why I like talking to my clients because they don't even think about that. Like I was in conversation with the client a few months ago and she's like, "Oh my God, I got published." And she's so excited. And I'm like, we need a media page. Because she was also about to do a podcast. I'm like, we need to set up a media page. She's like, I didn't think about that.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, another client started offering a whole different service and stuff, and it really was different enough. It needed its own page. We needed to represent that. I'm like, this is so exciting. Let's create a different page.
I just had this whole other vision of the way of presenting this. It's really working with a good web designer, which you are phenomenal, is like having a partner.
Yeah.
Right? It's like having a partner. It's like you discuss it with them, you're meeting with them, they're talking about their business, their life, and you're the one thinking, oh, I could add that to your website and that would be amazing. Like people just don't think, they're running on a treadmill, constantly moving forward. They're not thinking to stop and say, should I improve my website? That's always last. But if they have you in their corner, it's like you're thinking about their website all the time.
I'm thinking about improving their website. And even if they have that thought, oh, I need a media page. Oh, I need to do this. Okay, I'm going to try and do that Saturday night after we get home from date night or something. I mean, like, they're like, when can I squeeze it in? They don't have time and it doesn't get done.
Right, right.
And that's just the thing. And again, like I said, with the refresh too, like with your website, we built your website, beautiful website, loved you. Within a year, you outgrew it.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Every single month we're adding new stuff or changing.
We're adding new stuff, but that whole new website look wasn't actually a new website, was it?
No, it was just
it was a refresh behind the scenes where we didn't have to rebuild all those pages. We had to make some minor tweaks and design aspects, and it was a brand new website without being a brand new website.
Right. And just to remind everyone, every time you update your website, Google reads that as you're an active business, and it helps with your SEO, which everybody puts so much weight on all the time, right? So just updating your website on a regular basis helps your SEO.
It's supporting your business. And one other thing I just want to toss before we close is that one of the things I hear from my clients a lot of times is now that they're engaged with their website, now that they see it growing with them, now that they see the new stuff popping up for them, and they're excited to send people to their website, the change in their confidence is incredible. They're like, oh my God,
yes,
I feel so much more confident in my business. I never knew I would feel this much, increase because I have a good website.
It's so true. Every time you add a really rock solid service or something in your marketing, it gives you the confidence. It's amazing because it's going to help your pipeline stay full without as much effort also. Right? It's still going to be effort. Everybody, it's still going to be effort.
You're going to have to work for what you want.
Right. But at least there's this one thing you don't have to worry about. To me, like not having a web designer who's involved in your business on a regular basis is like having a bookkeeper who's not involved in your business, right? Imagine your bookkeeper not being there on a regular basis. That's how much it's going to affect your business over the long haul, and you don't even realize it. So if you are struggling with not updating your website, not knowing what to do with your website, struggling with your web designer, you don't know where your hosting is, you don't know how to change your website, you don't know the passwords, you're really lost, call Teresa. Sorry, Teresa, I know you're busy, but Teresa's one person. If she can't handle you, she'll tell you, like, I'm overbooked, I'm overbooked. But I have never gotten a complaint from anyone I've referred to you. So that to me says a ton about your dedication to your job. So there's no quitting for you, by the way.
No. I'm feeling much better. And even though I worked through the weekend, I did have some fun. And
good. And I'm glad you shared that, because there are days I wake up and go, what am I doing? It's time to retire. But then I go, oh my God, I'm helping so many people. I love helping people. I obviously want to pay my bills also. And I just think when you love what you do, you're still going to have those moments. And I'm glad you shared that.
Absolutely. That's why I wanted to share, because I think sometimes we think nobody else feels that way. We all feel that way.
We do. We all feel that way. So, all right. Thank you, Teresa. We'll see you next month. And everyone, go have a great Wednesday, and reach out to Teresa if you're having website questions or website issues, or you're just thinking about your website now. Reach out to Teresa. She can help you. Okay. All right, everyone. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Teresa. Bye.